Timer started. All right, welcome everybody to another fine edition of Couched.
Back at it.
Episode 12.
Yes.
Man, we're getting into the double digits here now, and we got
far into.
Yeah,
we're
better and better
man.
content. Yeah,
almost.
God, we're almost YouTubers.
Yeah.
How about
it? We try so hard.
We try so hard.
It's all right though.
So, what you been doing the last couple of weeks, man?
Avoiding the work to do at the house.
Oh, is it just
Pretty
building?
much. Yeah. And I completely screwed up what I was trying to do. And
the shelf game?
Now I have taken it back apart and am working on reassembly. But I found out my problem. Should be okay.
So if y'all been watching, you ought to know by now my man Dustin's been working on a shelf.
A mantle.
A mantle for your
my
fireplace. Yeah, for your new apartment.
There's a shelf component, but
apparently it didn't go so well, huh?
No, I'm trying to make my own dowels and doing that.
Your own what?
The dowels, the wooden pins to hold it together.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how
gotcha.
true woodworkers do. They don't use
dowels.
screws. Yeah. And I measured wrong for the depth of my holes.
Right.
Instead of the tip of the bit, it's supposed to be the fat part of the bit. I now know that. Thanks all the YouTube videos I watched for not telling me that.
Yeah, y'all are the best. Well, hey, man, at least you're doing something, learning something. That's
true.
That's one positive thing we can take out of all this COVID crisis is, like, if you played your cards right, you've probably been learning something.
Yeah, you picked up a skill.
You know, like, I know I've been
have
doing
a new hobby.
I've been doing a lot of cooking. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of quarantine cooking.
Oh, yeah. I've heard stories.
We got a new smoker and one of those Emerald Lagasse, like, 360 Pro Fry air fryers. I think it has so many modes. It bakes, it broils, it slow cooks, it fries. It does everything, man.
I've heard wings in that are badass.
I have not tried wings yet.
I've heard
maybe that's something
badass.
I need to go home and try. Yeah,
Hell yeah,
I've not tried wings. I did baked potato the other day.
You can't go wrong there.
Super fluffy on the inside, crispy outside.
You should make your own chips.
Ooh, I do that
Get
in the
some crazy
fryer.
seasoning.
I make my own chips in the fryer.
We're saying it air fry. It's even healthier.
Yeah, man.
Sort of.
But
really not. So the best part
is any of it. But I tell you, the other thing we got, like I said, is we got a digital one of those master built smokers. Right, and it's electric. So the cool thing about it is it plugs in and it like preheats in like 15 minutes to smoke. Right, and you add wood chips to it and water and all that good stuff.
Get the smoke going.
It's Bluetooth, so you can set timers and connect, like set the degrees and all that on your phone. And like you can set it at 225 and leave it. And that's the cool thing about the electric is you walk away and the smoke stays the same temperature. I personally, I do like old school pit barbecues. I think they produce a way smokier flavor. But I mean, it's the cool thing is that you can set it at 225, walk away and leave it, and it's not gonna ever. Yeah. Like I watched it regulate itself. It'll go to like 230, and then it'll go right back down to 225, like an oven, you know.
It's smarter.
It's smoking,
it's smarter.
So
that's what it is.
We done chicken breasts, ribs, all kinds of stuff through it. You know, just learning them quarantine skills. You know, doing something.
Skills for life.
Trying to make our best of our downtime, because all of us have a lot of it right now. I mean,
you're damn right.
Ugh.
But gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, moving on. We've been learning stuff, learning some new skills.
Skills for life.
Hope all you guys are doing the same and watching, YouTube.
Oh yeah, God,
I've
been doing a lot of that.
Whoever else you're following. A couple other things I wanted to point out real quick, just before we get into what we're doing tonight. We have new lighting tonight.
Oh yeah,
so you'll notice the set's a little different.
Might be able to tell.
How do you pronounce it? Neewewer.
I don't know.
We had two of those digital, like actual directional lights, and there's still the old ring light that we've been working with this whole time. So more lighting. Hopefully, it looks a lot better.
Yeah, we don't have
The
shit
second thing I wanted to add
fan.
is I don't know how well you can see it up here.
Oh, some new art.
But our man Garrett Teal,
not very well, but
I can maybe zoom in on it or something for the fans, you know.
Hey.
Yeah, but our man Garrett
It's
Teal
dope
actually
picture.
drew this Wolverine right here.
Yeah,
it's freaking awesome,
it's
man.
Very
the
good.
detail work, it's great.
You definitely spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah, definitely spent a lot of time on it.
Good on you, Gary.
Definitely check it out. Good on you, Garrett.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe we'll have him on the show someday. Who knows?
Hopefully. All he's got to do is come up.
Yeah, all he's got to do is come up.
A little bit of fun.
So this episode is going to be Bryce Baker's Whiskey Pick'em.
Triumphant return of Bryce.
Yeah, the triumphant.
The Destroyer.
The triumphant return. So without further ado, you want to go ahead and bring Bryce on?
Yes, I do.
Bryce, why don't you go on? Come
Would you
on
step
in here,
up,
boy.
sir?
Step
Would you
on up and
please?
bring what you brought.
Come on.
Think our couch technicians have a microphone ready for you?
That I do. That I do.
Oh, I guess now.
And a little billboard.
From Fun
for
with
you.
Stuff.
Hell yeah, fun with stuff.
A little decor.
Here you are, sir.
All right. My microphone. All right.
Yo, microphone.
Here you go, man.
Well, boys, it's been a while since we whiskeyed down.
It sure has.
For us, it has.
It's been a minute, man. Thanks for joining us again.
I promise
absolutely.
I'll do better. That's all I can say.
I don't believe it until I see it.
I don't either.
He
but
promises.
I'm gonna try.
I have faith in you. I have faith.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, our last episode, if y'all remember, we did the bourbon and the rye.
We did.
Fuck.
Bourbon and the rye, and Middlebrook loves rye whiskeys, as we found
As
out.
Oh,
we
no, it's
found
my new
out.
favorite. Who
As
knew?
big a fan as you'll find on this planet.
Might just throw up right over there.
Yeah. But at the end of last episode, I said that I was going to take y'all to Ireland.
You made us a commitment, Bryce.
I did.
You made us
Sure.
a promise.
I did.
I have not
Promises.
seen one single Irish nacho or potato or anything that resembles Ireland yet, so I'm hoping to see that.
Well, I brought something that's even more Irish than Irish nachos or potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
I brought
Whiskey.
Irish whiskey.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Get up in there.
So
Oh, man.
it comes in a fancy box, too,
Huh.
which is nice.
I've never drank anything
That
from a
is
box
that.
except for wine.
I've never.
Right?
Yeah, this is out of my line of class right here.
Hold that for me.
Ooh, look
almost dropped
out.
Ooh.
All right.
That's some fancy ass shit. Look now.
Yeah, so Redbreast 12
Redbreast.
is what we got today. And I'm not going to pour it yet because Middlebrook has no patience when it comes to alcohol, apparently.
No, we got to make them wait for it.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
you got to wait.
No, that's in best interest. For sure.
So I want to talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
And then we'll get into drinking some whiskey.
Yeah, let's do
But-
it.
Spill the beans, Gene.
So-
Let's
What'd you
go.
bring for us today? Tell the folks.
So, as I said, Redbreast 12. This is a single pot still whiskey.
What's that about?
So it's there's two different kinds of stills. Oh, geez,
Oh, you're fine,
hands
man.
are slippery.
Steel.
So there's two different kinds of stills used to distill whiskey. You've
Okay.
got a pot still or a column still, and
That
pots.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, so pot still. Again, I'm not so super versed in how the distillation process goes.
Right.
Oh, well, it's about heating up what you got, and it makes the vapor, and the vapor distills down into another section, and that's what you get.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you clap, turn around 3 times, and there's whiskey.
Absolutely, yeah. Alakazam whiskey, drink it. But
So when you let me just interject there real
Yeah.
quick. When you say still, like a still whiskey, you're talking about the traditional thing we're all thinking about, the moonshine
moonshine, yeah.
looking still. Is it still made out
Or
of
just
copper
on a
whiskey and all
large
that,
scale.
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
Most places, especially if they're doing pot still whiskey,
Uh-huh.
it'll be a copper still. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Hell
it'll be a
yes.
copper still. And actually, a funny thing about whiskey in general is that things that were kind of like, I guess, folk tales or folk legends about whiskey, like traditional things, like we only distill at this time of day in this season. Things like that turned out to be absolute science.
Oh,
And there was a
really?
reason, there was a good reason for them to do it. And one of the things was, because these stills, they get old, they get banged up and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, early on in the production of whiskey, when they would replace the still, they would actually go around it with hammers and bang it up to where it resembled the old still.
Nice.
And there was a reason they did that is because the surface area affected the distillation process, which eventually affected the flavor. But they just did it because, I don't know, it just still looks like that still made good whiskey. Let's make this still look like that still. So
That's
Dang.
science right there.
absolutely,
So the dents and the rivets and stuff in the still actually affect how the flavor comes out somewhat.
yep,
Interesting.
absolutely.
It's like an art.
I never would
It
have
really
It
is.
really is like making a sculpture. or
really
something,
is,
but
and
in
that's-
liquid form.
Sculpture you can drink.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things I love about whiskey is it's an art that will get you drunk.
Yeah,
It is
yes.
art that gets you drunk, and I just think that is beautiful.
It is.
It's just beautiful.
It's just gorgeous.
I love it. But so I want to talk about the history of
Okay.
Ireland and
Learn me.
whiskey.
Yeah.
So-
learn us something today.
So the earliest records of distilling alcohol comes from Italy, actually. And they were doing it. Yeah, they were doing it with wine, making wine.
That makes sense.
Yeah, of course, Italy.
Wine.
Right.
Exactly. But traveling monks eventually carried that sort of practice of distilling up to the Ireland and Scotland as well. And so, because there's not really any vineyards in Ireland and Scotland, they just distilled what they had, which was barley. They distilled barley. And so this is made out of 100% barley.
Okay.
Is the mash bill. It's just straight up barley. It's not like the bourbon and the rye where there was a mix of different grains.
Yeah.
Single pot still whiskeys are always just barley. But an interesting thing about it is...
How interesting is it?
I think it's pretty interesting. It's pretty nerdy, but I am a nerd, so I think it's very interesting.
There's no such thing as a whiskey nerd. Man, this
should be. It should be.
But an interesting thing about the single pot still whiskeys is, 1700s, 1600s Britain, England, they loved to tax people.
Oh man!
Damn right they did.
As any
dirty bastards,
any well-read history American will know.
That's right.
The English like to tax people, and to try and sort of undercut the whiskey that was coming out of Ireland, they actually started to tax malted barley. And
taxation is theft. Sorry. Go on.
They actually started to tax malted barley, and so the Irish were like, "Okay, we're just going to use a percentage of unmalted barley." So that we can cut down on the taxes.
What you got,
And they did that just as kind of a middle finger to the British government. But what it ended up affecting the flavor quite a bit. Yeah,
nice.
That makes sense.
And I'll explain how it affects the flavor and whatnot. But that's a little bit of history about Ireland and whiskey. Actually, Ireland. Another thing I want to add is Ireland has the oldest mention of whiskey
in the world.
Yep. In the world. Yeah, they found it. I believe
They're
it's
the first people to figure out how to do it. That makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
Not the first people to figure out how to distill, but kind of like the owners
whiskey.
of whiskey.
The first ones to be sober enough to write it down.
Right. And the way historians actually figured it out is because they found some sort of ledger of the leader of a clan had died after drinking too much whiskey.
Sounds about right.
Surprise, surprise.
The Irish. That's the Irish goodbye. Right?
Absolutely.
Long kiss, good night.
Yeah. But anyways, enough talk. Let's whiskey down.
Let's whiskey down, man.
Okay, so break out your fancy ass glasses once again.
So another quick question that just comes to my mind as we're going through this. Earlier, you mentioned that it's 100% barley, right? So nothing, no fancy grains go into this.
No corn.
What
no
else?
Wheat, no
what else
like
might they put into the flavor of like Irish whiskey? Do they put any kind of like, like in the others, you might have a hint of cinnamon or vanilla or stuff like that? Do they put any of that, or is it just all barley all day, all the time?
So, will you mind pouring this while I answer that question?
Okay.
I trust in you.
Okay.
Just give us a little bit.
Gotcha.
But so to answer,
agitate it.
Yeah, you'll have to apologize. Yeah. But to answer your question, there are things that they do to Irish whiskey in order to flavor it up a little bit. The Irish actually make so the single pot still is both malted and unmalted barley.
Okay.
But Irish, they also make single malts, which are just 100% malted barley, distilled barley. And another thing they do is, if you remember in the last episode, I talked about how in Scotland you can't use new oak barrels.
Right.
You have to use used oak barrels. And so they usually do bourbon or sherry. Well, the same is very true for Irish whiskey as well. And this particular Irish whiskey is aged in both ex-bourbon barrels and sherry barrels.
Nice.
And it definitely affects the flavor, as one might imagine. But anyways, let's get into it.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's whiskey.
Oh, and then just before we taste and whatnot, I have just a question that came to mind.
What's
so?
Yeah.
Potatoes are a huge part of the Irish diet. I wonder why they didn't think to use that. Like, why is there not a
Because it's probably nasty, and Russians make vodka out of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why did they never make a vodka? How is Ireland not known for vodka?
You know, it's a good question. They do make potato liquor. They do.
Okay.
They do distill liquor with potatoes. They do like gin, I think.
Nasty. Keep going.
I mean, I like gin, but
hey, it's too dry for me, man.
That's why we don't have a gin of the month club.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I had to pick,
oh man.
But yeah, they do a gin and they do vodka as well. Potatoes, but
it's not a thing that you hear about.
If I had to make a pure, unadulterated, unhistorically verified guess,
yeah,
I would have to wager that. So you're familiar with scenes like the potato famine and stuff like that before. Well, you would think that Ireland, being an island, probably doesn't have they have plenty of natural resources, obviously. But they probably had to bring in the beef and bring in like everything else or whatever they had there. So maybe they were more focused on using the potatoes for food or for other things, and then actually distilling the barley that they grew because that grew wild.
They also weren't
everywhere,
able to keep their other crops for food. The English, once again, assholes, were taking it, so they were only allowed to keep potatoes. That's true, because they were thought to be like a lesser food.
I wonder if the English taxed barley. Like maybe that would be another like.
They probably
big
taxed
fuck
everything,
probably.
man.
Yeah, they probably
but
did tax barley.
You can grow fields of that versus. Well, I guess you can grow fields of potatoes, but it seems easier to throw barley out there and let it grow rather than to have to nurture potatoes. But I don't know. I'm not a farmer. I'm just a guy on a couch.
True that.
But anyways, after that derailment, let's get into the main event here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So if you remember, first thing we do, take a look at it. It's a 12-year-old whiskey.
Okay.
So it's
sat in the barrel for longer.
That it did. It sat in a barrel for much longer than the bourbon and the rye that we had last Whiskey of the Month episode.
Right.
But because Ireland is a much colder climate, the effect of the wood is much different in the colder climate. So
that's interesting.
If you have hotter summers, in hotter climates, the water evaporates before the alcohol does.
Oh, okay.
And so the longer you leave something in a barrel, like here in the States, especially in Texas, the longer you leave something in a barrel, the higher the alcohol percentage goes and the stronger the wood effect is. And it just gets aggressive and spiky.
Right.
But the opposite is true for like Scotland and Ireland. So the longer you leave it in the barrel, more of the alcohol evaporates first.
It gets weaker.
It gets weaker, the proof goes down, and it just sort of smooths out the rough edges of the whiskey. And one of these days I'm going to get a very young Scotch and a very heavily aged Scotch to actually show you what that looks like.
Okay.
That'll be down the road, but yeah, so we're working with a little bit of age here, and I know you don't have a reference point really for,
what is it, 10-year-old charter? It's my age point. That's the only one I know.
So, but yeah, you can see we're working with a little age here. It's got some color to it.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot to tell here.
I know, first observation of coloredness is, and I know that's a technical term, coloredness, is the liquid in it seems a bit heavier. If that makes any sense. Like it seems a little thicker than the last the bourbon we tried.
Yeah, a little more oil content.
Yeah, like a little thicker.
It's got some legs to it.
Some legs.
Looks more like feet.
Absolutely. More like
zing.
Zang.
But yeah, it's got some legs to it. So, but let's take a smell.
Yeah.
Take a smell. See what you guys get out of it. Remember to just get it just close enough to where it doesn't burn you. And hold your mouth open.
I was told that I look very weird doing that.
Yeah, no, you'll look stupid when you do it.
That's why I brought it to everyone's attention several times.
Forewarning.
Yeah, you're going to look dumb. And if you do it in the middle of a bar, people are going to look, if they catch you doing it.
Why are you smelling whiskey in a bar, man?
If it's a nice whiskey bar.
Okay, well, never been to one of those. Thanks, Jay Gills.
So, but yeah, what are you guys smelling? Anything familiar in there?
Whiskey.
Definitely smells aromatic.
Yeah.
Pretty strongly. I can bring it down to here and smell it. Versus some of the other ones we had to get it like a little closer.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know if that makes it stronger in smell, but.
Hey, where's your timer at?
Oh, it's on, man.
No, where's it at?
20.
Okay, shoot, I don't know.
Yeah.
I forgot to flip the viewfinder down.
Oh, you're fine, man. I got it.
It's actually more pleasant than smelling those other ones.
Yeah, and that's a common thing with Irish whiskey and Scotch as well.
Better. It's just better.
Not better. I mean, I prefer it.
You said it was a common thing.
Well, no, it's friendlier. We'll say.
Oh yeah,
seems
friendly.
like it.
Little mate.
It seems
down the street,
like slightly sweet, but I can definitely get a spice to it. You know,
yeah.
I get a bunch of spice to it. And I'm gonna assume that's probably the barley, right?
Not really. Its spice will probably be more from the bourbon barrel.
Assuming makes an ass out of you and me, but
hey man. But
yeah, the spice will probably be more from the barrel, from the bourbon barrel, probably.
Yeah.
And a little bit from the sherry too, probably as well.
Sherry.
The barley gives it a sort of a musty component.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if you can pick that out in the smell.
It definitely doesn't. My only reference is the last time we did this, and it doesn't hurt like those did.
That's good.
It doesn't hurt.
You know.
Yeah, well, I know.
That's good.
I was there. I saw the last one.
I saw my face.
See, I told you I had faith in you for this one.
Yeah.
I had faith.
I got faith in this one. All right.
Yeah, so for me on this one, it's a lot of, there's some dark fruit notes from the sherry, some berries, things like that.
It's like, what's a dark fruit?
Yeah, like berries,
right.
like
shit
a cherry
you would
note.
eat and shit in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. I get like a cherry note off of it.
And I do get a cherry note off of it, but not until you say anything about it.
Yeah, well, hey,
like, cherry note, yeah, definitely.
It's it's the power of suggestion. It is. It's
very
there,
much.
but
is that banana?
Banana?
I don't think I smell banana.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I'm not just
I mean,
I bullshitting here. I think
like
you're
at first
onto something.
This is weird. A little bit, like just a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like you can have whatever flavor you want in it, really.
But it's like artificial banana though.
Sure.
It's like not.
Oh yeah, bacon.
Real. Bacon. I don't get bacon.
I'd drink that.
It's not that
I don't get bacon.
psychosomatic.
But no, like it reminds me of like the banana Laffy Taffies. Now that you say it,
like a runt.
Or that too.
Runt?
Yeah,
runt.
Yeah, banana runts. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. You're onto something there.
But that's a sweet, like a sweet fruitiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing I get off of this, I want to draw y'all's attention to is a breadiness on the smell.
A breadiness.
Yeah, like a breadiness, like a
kind of sweet bread.
Kind of like more like
I think I know what you're saying.
Kind of like a dry cookie, like a shortbread cookie.
Like a shortbread cookie.
Yeah, like a shortbread cookie, something like that.
Now, is that something that I wonder maybe goes into the cookie that also goes into the whiskey, or is that just a coincidence?
I
like
think
anise or something weird like that. You know?
Yeah. No, I think it's the unmalted barley that does that.
Okay.
Because it's only pot still Irish whiskey that I get that from.
Yeah.
The shortbread cookie note. So I think it's the unmalted barley that does it for sure. But enough smelling, looking like idiots with our mouths open. Let's drink some whiskey.
Drink some whiskey.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys. Prost. And all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, so much better.
Yeah.
That is
all right.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's very nice.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So what are y'all tasting?
Ooh. Well, I'm getting a hint of whiskey.
Naturally.
I don't know. I'm bad at tasting. I don't understand it, but it's definitely better.
It's all right. I'll put some notes in your head in a second. Let's hear. What about you, Yogi?
I mean, I want to use the word orange, but I don't know how accurate that is.
It's. I mean, if
that's a word.
If you taste it, it's there.
Yeah, it does. I definitely taste a hint of orange.
Yeah.
Probably some dark fruit notes, like y'all said. It tastes. It's really sweet, but at the same time, it's smooth, and there's no like bitter or make you want to gag taste to it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
no,
awesome.
it didn't. Yeah. Like I felt it a little bit on my tongue as it's going down. It's gone. I feel fine.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's a good taste.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Good notes.
Yeah, so I get a lot of the berry notes that you were saying. Some cherry from the sherry barrels that are used
cherry
in this.
from sherry, yes.
Yeah, cherry from sherry. And I also get like a little bit of nuttiness as well. some nut flavor. I get some dark fruit, mainly dark berries, but there's some cherry in there as well. For me, it's like a tart cherry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you said you're getting a lot of sweetness. For me, it's like more of a tart cherry.
It's actually not making me sweat as much.
That's good.
All right.
I think. Is that good?
What kind of proof we got on this thing?
It's the floor for proof, so it's 40%.
Okay, standard. Yeah.
Yeah. So
nice.
40%.
Hell yeah.
But even for 40%, I think it's very flavorful, which is hard to find in whiskey. It's hard to find a 40% whiskey that's, especially a whiskey that's using used barrels. It's hard to find one that's 40% and still very flavorful.
Right.
I like this one.
Yeah, this one's a winner, man.
Hell yeah!
I am getting hints of the cherry or the sherry wood or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever
that
is, I get it. I hope what I'm about to say doesn't turn you away from it. But to me, the way that it manifests itself is in a bit of the aftertaste.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like follows.
That's what I'm trying to examine.
It kind of has the same follow to me as like cherry syrup. Or not. I don't want to say cough medicine because it's not exactly that bad of a flavor, but it's got a little hint, kind of like that.
Yeah.
How it sits in your mouth,
But
it's definitely not bad. It's definitely delicious.
It's a little medicinal.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little tiny bit.
Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely. And one thing that I actually really like. This is like a really nice, just sort of sit back and relax whiskey.
Yeah,
this
This is what they call a sipping whiskey.
Yeah,
I understand it now.
Yeah,
I would.
That's the concept.
This is a nice, just sit back, relax whiskey because it's not challenging at all.
Uh-huh.
It's not like super loud and in your face and aggressive. It's very subtle. It's very sort of low key, and there's not really much of a finish to it. There's not much of like a lingering flavor.
No, not really. It goes away pretty quick.
Oh,
yeah, it's there, and then you swallow it, and then it kind of goes away. Which is, I think, for just a whiskey that you had a long day, you just want something to drink. You don't really want to think about it. This is great.
Definitely a good.
This would be a fantastic whiskey to come home from after work. Start a fire in the fireplace, get your pipe, your tobacco pipe loaded, and get the book down from the fireplace. Put your smoking jacket on, like in the 1950s, and have you some whiskey.
Absolutely,
I agree.
It's a good, classy man whiskey. That's what it tastes like.
Classy man, long day
enjoyable.
Of sitting in the office and yelling at his secretary.
Oh yeah.
Comes home, puts on his smoking jacket, and sips his Redbreast 12.
Yes, he does.
Oh, as he should. Damn.
But it's also got that wee hint of I just might punch you in the face at a bar.
Off this? You damn right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'd get too far.
I might be 4 or 5 Redbreast deep, just ready to.
Hey, you. Want to fight?
Oh, that's delicious though.
Let's get into our ratings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I tell you what, boys, let's go ahead and get into our ratings. And before we do that, why don't you go ahead and stop the thing real quick, the camera, because we're at 29 minutes.
I just started it over.
Oh, did you? Okay, well then we're good.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our ratings then.
Okay.
My bad.
So, what are we kicking this off with? Flavor?
I think flavor was the first one last time.
Yeah, so first off is flavor. Okay. Do you like it or not?
I sure as hell do.
Awesome.
Holy crap, I give this damn thing 4 beards.
Ooh.
4.5, actually.
Good score.
Going 4.5.
Oh, very good score.
4.5.
4.5
beards.
That is
good.
A lot better than last time.
I beat y'all. I finished it. That was
did.
Damn enjoyable.
Have yourself another.
Have yourself another Redbreast, boy.
One more.
I do believe I shall. Onward.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What do you think? For flavor, for me, I also really like it. It's sweet, like we've talked about before. It doesn't have any long, lingering, real nasty aftertaste or anything like that. It doesn't make me want to gag, a lot of alcohol does. But I think we're going to find that's indicative of higher class alcohols. They don't make you want to gag. So yeah, for flavor, I'm going to go ahead and also give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. Yeah,
awesome.
I'm going to shoot with 4 on the flavor.
Yeah. So
strong bin.
On to me then.
Yes, sir.
So this is Redbreast 12 is my favorite Irish whiskey. when I kind of got this idea to go through the major categories of whiskey, there was never a doubt in my mind what I was going to bring when it came to Ireland. This is always...
Oh, you nailed it, for sure.
Yeah, this is wonderful. A regular feature on my whiskey shelf at home.
I mean, yeah.
I love it. The sweetness, a little bit of the spice from the sherry and the bourbon on the back end a little bit. It's just a great whiskey, great Irish whiskey. So I think I'm going to give it a 4.
Nice.
I'm going to go with a 4, yeah.
It's amazing how it doesn't burn at all.
Yeah. Right? Oh, man.
4
that
broken chairs
on my tongue.
4 broken chairs from Bryce Baker.
4 broken chairs. What was the next one?
Moving right on into complexity. So that's like the flavors you taste in and all that jazz.
Yeah. How much different stuff do you detect going on in there?
Is it?
Personally, this feels less complex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not getting hit with very much of anything, which is okay, because I'm not sitting here guessing. I'm enjoying a nice drink.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna echo his sentiment on that. I'm gonna give my you want to go ahead and give your complexity score before I just
due to the fact that it's not, I guess that'd be more of a mid-range 2.5 for me.
Yeah, I agree.
But a very good 2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that sentiment. As I don't get like a whole lot of complex flavor. The 3 or 4 flavors that I do get out of it, or 2 or 3, or however little or many it is, they're very strong, and they're very strong, and that's all I taste out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna bring my complexity score a little bit down, but it's not in a bad way at all. It's like they do those 3 flavors and they do them very great. So there's not a need for it to be all that busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So for complexity for me, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a 2.5. Also, that's about what I was thinking.
Mid-game. Word.
Yeah. And, for a 40% whiskey, maybe not a bad score.
No, not at all.
Not a bad score. For me, I'm getting a little bit more out of it than you guys are.
A more expert palate.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's just there's a lot of small things. It's a very subtle and nuanced whiskey, which is often the case with, these pot still Irish and, some scotches. They're not like the bourbons, where it's just strong flavors because of that new oak requirement.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The used oak requirement, kind of makes them a little softer, a little subtler. But I think there's still a fair amount of stuff going on in here. The berries, the cherry, the spice, a little bit of nuttiness. So I think I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, 3 broken chairs.
And now we have to differ over to you for price.
For price.
Yeah, where are we sitting at?
So last episode it was kind of the bargain shoot.
Mm-hmm.
This episode, not so much.
Well, it came in a fancy ass box. How could it
did,
be?
Absolutely. So
Jameson doesn't come in a box.
No, it does not.
Doesn't need to.
Redbreast 12 picked this up at Total Wine for $60 is what I picked it up for.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's a little out of what we would normally pay on a Friday night, but for a great sipping whiskey, I don't think that's out of the question.
This is not.
This is not something you take to...
No, this is not a party whiskey.
Your friend's freaking 30-person apartment party to play beer pong with. This is not the whiskey for that.
This is... I'm going to sit and drink this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. That's... I don't have a good reference on that because I've never had a liquor do that for me.
Really?
So I would put that at a solid 4 because that seems okay.
Really?
$60?
Nice.
For a good, enjoyable several days of drinking? Just chilling?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up twice.
You pay more. Would you pay more for that bottle? Like what's kind of like
I'm getting a bit stingy.
What's kind of like the ceiling that you think you would reach for? Like if that was $80, do you think I would absolutely grab that.
Millbrook's ceiling, I feel like, is whatever they're gonna charge for it. Like, oh sweet, $30.
No, 60 and 65 for a 7.5. Like that's your high end on my scale. But I would do that.
You would do that for that
for
bottle?
this one? Yes.
Right on.
I think they've nailed it on their price.
Right on.
Good on you.
Yogi boy, what do you think?
Yeah, man. For Middlebrook, why don't you go ahead and
give it a beard score
rating on price.
A 4.
4.
Oh yeah, that's right.
4 5 beards.
My bad.
He did.
My bad.
One for price.
4.
All right. Well, yeah. For price, for me, man. Now I'm not as versed in whiskeys. Obviously, this is our second go with this. I've had the 10-year-old and 12-year-old charter, which I know that's on the lower end of things, way lower.
There's an 8 too.
I've had your Johnny Walker, Blue Labels and stuff like that. You know, so I think for a 12-year age product, $60 is not unquestionable. I think I'd pay that shit, and I might.
Comes in a box.
I might.
Yeah.
I'd pay it, and I'd pay it again. Would probably pay up to 70, 75 for it, maybe even, because I really do think it's a really good whiskey. But for me to want to pay 75, I would like to see the 40% come up just a little bit higher.
45.
Yeah,
but I think it's pretty solid at 60. I'll give it. I'll give it a 4.5 actually.
4.5. Wow.
4.5 picnic
baskets. 4.5 picnic baskets.
Right on. Very good score.
Solid price, yeah.
It's
a
good score.
Money on it.
So for me, I'm gonna go with probably a 3.5.
Okay.
And I say that because I think they hit the nail right on the head as far as price goes. $60, it feels right for this product.
Yeah.
It feels about right. It's very good. I love it. It's my favorite Irish whiskey. There's a decent amount of stuff going on, especially for a 40% whiskey. And because it's 40%, it's not as spiky with the alcohol.
Right.
So
didn't burn my nose.
Absolutely.
No, it did not.
Because of that low proof, it makes it very smooth, quote unquote. Yeah. So 3.5 for me. I think they hit the nail on the head with the price. So that's about what I would pay for it, and I did, and I will again.
Hell yes.
All right.
Okay. Well,
we want to dip into our overalls, Middlebrook. Since you've been kind of taking the lead on this, you want to go ahead and give us your overall, man.
Overall would have to be, including the price, a good 4.25. 4.25.
All right, yeah.
Because if you could put it down to $45, it'd be a 5. Ooh. But that's just me because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
But on that, 4.25.
At
solid 4.25.
At the states where Costco is legally allowed to sell liquor, you can get that for $45.
Dang.
Where's that?
How far do we have to drive?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the closest state is. Probably Louisiana. They probably have liquor in Costco's.
Oh,
but
God, I don't want to go in there right now.
No.
They're probably out.
But yeah, you can get that for $45 at Costco's that are allowed to sell liquor.
That would
here
be
in Texas, you'll be paying $60, unfortunately.
Okay. Our beer's better. Suck it.
Solid, man. Overall, for me, man, I would want to give it a 4.5. That was my target at first because I do really, really, really like it. But like I said, I don't get as much out of it, and that could be my amateur palate, So it's going to bring mine down a little bit. Also, $60 for, like I said, 40%, 40 proof, whatever it is. I'd like to see that go up a little bit more or the price go down a little bit, like you said. So that's going to affect it also. But taste, flavor, dude, it's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a straight 4.
Right on.
A straight 4.
Right on.
I do really like it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it... I don't want to give it 3.5 because that feels too low. But 4 feels too high. So I'm going to split the difference.
Put it where you want, yeah.
3 3/4.
Okay.
3 3/4 of a broken chair.
All right.
Love it.
So, because, with the lower proof, they make a cask strength version of Redbreast 12. And it's very good. And those flavors are just accented. Mm-hmm. And I bet if I brought that, you guys would be able to get more of the spice and
probably
the nutty waxiness that I'm talking about.
But it's harsher.
I mean, yeah, it'll be a little bit more spiky, from the increased alcohol because instead of 40%, I think it jumps up to 54%.
Oh, wow.
So it's a pretty big jump.
That is a jump.
It's a pretty big jump.
It's a hell of a vertical.
Yeah, it's more of a whiskey if you want to really experience a whiskey. This is more of just
like... Is that code for getting drunk?
Yeah.
I want to experience this whiskey.
It could be. The way...
Where are my pants?
Right. The way I've always defined it is if you really want to explore and like really like focus on what's going on with the glass, like what we're doing right now, like
I'm trying
really
to get flavors.
taste it.
I want to smell.
Yeah, try and figure out what are the smells, what are the tastes. The cask strength version is more for that. I feel like the Redbreast 12 standard line, the 40%, is just like I'm home. I've had a long day. I want something to drink.
Yeah,
give me some Redbreast.
Where's my sipping whiskey?
Yeah, so.
I feel like as these progress, like our me and Middlebrooks ratings are gonna like drop a little bit, and
they will.
Hope that doesn't affect the whiskeys to come because I know they're gonna be just as good or better. But as we learn more and more about it, like I haven't had much Irish whiskey, so I'm not gonna be able to detect the nuts and fruits in there. But as we do it, we'll get better, and I think we'll be like, oh, this is good. Oh, that's not. So we'll get better and better at it.
As far as like a real whiskey goes, I think this one has just jumped my list.
Oh yeah.
It may be the first time I've drank it, but I really like it.
Yeah,
I think I'd pop it to number 1 for me now.
Nice.
I would go too.
Nice.
I would too.
Yeah, this is.
Hell yeah.
As I've said several times already, my favorite Irish. I love this thing.
Well, all right, we got a Redbreast, our first Irish whiskey on the show.
This is times.
The whiskey of the month for June. You gave it a 4.25.
Yeah.
I've got a solid 4.
Yeah,
and we
3.75. That's 4 overall.
On it. All right.
Good for it.
I know we mentioned that we were going to tell the story of how you got the moniker The Destroyer.
Oh, yes.
But it would seem that, yet again, we're running short on time.
Oh.
So you may be safe for one more episode on that. But you guys stick around because it is going to be a good story. And one of these days, we are going to get to it.
We will eventually.
I swear. So just keep watching. You'll learn. You'll keep figuring it out.
You sure we don't have time?
I don't think we have time. I really don't. So
balls.
We got to keep the ball rolling. We'll go ahead and end on.
Damn.
We could do an expedited version.
Yeah.
Because it's not a long story.
That's what I was thinking.
But it is an eventful story.
Well,
true. We'll do it next time.
Okay. All right. We'll do that.
All right.
Sorry to tease you again, folks.
We'll get you. But once again, wanted to thank you for coming on the show, man. Bro. Everybody watching at home and listening in your cars, because these are all going to be audio by this
point.
Hope you guys learned a little something. Took a tour with Ireland. Bryce, you have anything else you want to say?
No, just once again, thanks for having me on doing some whiskey tastings.
We enjoyed it.
It's good time.
Yeah, really as I said in the last episode, I love talking about whiskey. I love drinking it and getting to share that experience with people, especially, we'll say whiskey amateurs, and helping to
people
get you guys more well-versed, I think is really fun, and I really enjoy it. So thank you guys for having me on here. It's awesome. It was awesome last time. It was awesome this time. So
we will continue to have you back on, Bryce. Because
it's educational, it's informational, and like I said, dude, whiskey's an art and a science. And dude, honestly, before episode 1, I had no idea there was this much to it. And the more I learn, the more I'm captivated. So
it's
we're gonna keep doing
crazy
it.
World.
Again, your June whiskey of the month. That's gonna be your Redbreast Irish.
Redbreast, 12-year.
Yeah,
drink them up.
Go find it. Drink it up. It's really good.
So,
without further ado, you want to take us on out of here?
Yep. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Thank you for watching Couch. This will be the end of our first season. Please like and subscribe. Yep. Comment on all our videos. Tell us the things you want to see in the upcoming season. We're going to have hopefully better quality. Obviously, we're already starting on it.
Yeah.
But more and more interesting things for you to see. Let us know what you want. Yeah, we're going to do so much work in this little bit of off time that we're going to do.
It's going to be awesome.
And it's going to be good for you, and it's going to be good for us. So you might as well like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, and stay tuned. We're going to have Bryce back on, and we'll have the whiskey of the month, July.
Whenever it comes to it.
Until then,
stay on the couch.
Cheers.
Or get a job.